Welcome, meat eaters and vegans. I challenge you all to a debate to defend your own moral position on eating meat. Thanks for tuning in. Why am I saying that? Because I had a video uploaded a few days ago and the comment section is exploding. Check it out. Piers Morgan gets destroyed by Tash Peterson in my videos. Now let's tune in to Piers Morgan destroys vegan for not caring about all animal rights. Okay, let's see what we can criticize, analyze, interpret here with Piers Morgan and Joey Carbstrong.
Right to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Veganism, the art of eschewing all pleasure in life, is one of the 21st century's most bizarre trends, from where I look at it. But there are green, plant-based shoots of recovery. The new fashion is for high-profile vegans, including explorer Bear Grylls, to revealing they're detransitioning back to healthy, meaty diets. And celebrity chefs like John Mountain.
Okay. First problem, healthy meaty diets. Well, meat is not a health food, actually, but it's like smoking. You could be healthy and smoke a little bit, so you can be healthy and eat a little bit of meat.
Who runs Fire Restaurant in Perth, Australia, is also leading the fight back. He's made global headlines this week after announcing, sadly, all vegans are banned from Fire for mental health reasons. We thank you for your understanding. Many didn't understand. He's been flooded with fake bookings and hostile reviews. But I'm joined.
Okay, mostly who has the mental health issues are the meat eaters. Yeah, some of them are willing to take psychopathic views on moral stance. Yeah, they're prepared to eat humans if you ask them, if you just press them enough.
Now
Sorry,
by
it's
the
so
vegan
slow.
man himself, John Mountain, and here in the studio, animal rights activist
What?
Joey Carbstrong. Well, welcome to both of you. Okay, John Mountain, why did you ban vegans from your restaurant?
Morning, Piers. I banned them from my restaurant because, look, I've been a chef for nearly 30 years, but on this particular incident, it was just too much. They grouped together, which, I'm very proud of the vegans for all sticking together, but they did. They grouped and banded together and then started hammering my business with one-star reviews. I saw my rating dropped from a sensible 4.2 down to 2.8. They nearly broke me. God bless the vegans, though. It didn't work.
What was the incident that provoked all this?
So disingenuous. God bless the vegans, but they destroyed me. So are you grateful or not for the vegans?
The problem that happened was a girl had emailed me 3 weeks before requesting a vegan selection. And I said, well, look, rather than saying that, what is it that you like? Tell me what you like. And she said, well, I like gnocchi and risotto. I thought, okay, no problem. We change our menu every day, Piers, so it's not an issue. The problem was on the day that she did turn up, I couldn't do it. I let her down, and it was a justifiable complaint.
And she went nuts.
But yeah, slightly nuts, as they
vegans,
do.
My thing about
Well, that's a issue about restauranting. If you have a person that's coming in and wanting some special food, and you're saying you can cook it, and then on the day you can't cook it, so okay. I would also write a bad review, or as a chef, be like, sorry, I couldn't make it, and then maybe offer some kind of compensation. I don't know.
about vegans is they tend to be, I don't know, they seem to me permanently hangry.
But that wouldn't have to do anything with being vegan, It could have happened to a meat eater coming in and saying, I want some special kind of steak prepared like in this certain way, and you can't do it on this day, so it would have been with a meat eater the issue. So, and now they're putting the blame on veganism. That's the usual.
Like the lack of meat in their diet makes them very intolerant of people and they get very agitated. And if you don't sign up to all things vegan in the way that they want you to, all hell breaks loose.
I think that seems to be the issue, Piers. To be honest, I think they're just missing a really good burger or a glass of milk, or both. They need to sleep more.
Yeah, we're missing the enslavement of cows and pigs and chicken. We're missing that so much. We can't do without it, of course. And there's vegan burgers, so what's that argument?
Be a bit more healthy. Although, the vegan diet allegedly is healthy, just not for everybody else. I think each to their own, Piers, 100%.
Okay, well, let's come to Joey. So Joey, Bear Grylls, who I know well, said he's embarrassed he used to promote veganism. He now eats a diet of red meat, blood, bone marrow, as well as salted butter, eggs, fruit and honey. He says he's never felt better. Talking about his transition to a vegan diet, he said, I was vegan quite a few years ago. In fact, I wrote a vegan cookbook. I now feel a bit embarrassed about that because I promoted, I thought that was good for the environment, I thought it was good for my health. And through time and experience and knowledge and study, I realized.
So he was vegan for the wrong reasons, like for okay reasons, but for weak reasons. Yeah, being vegan for the health and for the environment makes you susceptible to just drop those reasons easily if you don't understand the moral component of it.
I realized I was wrong on both.
Are you really going to miss this?
We do this training once a year. There's 800,000 to 1 million people that'll join us.
He's embarrassed that he promoted a plant-based diet when he drinks urine and bile out of camel's stomach.
Urine's quite healthy, though.
It's healthy. Would you drink urine? Would you rather drink urine?
Absolutely, if I had to, yeah, if I was in a
Yeah, but he's embarrassed that he promoted.
That's good. That's good pressing. Asking the question. He said, urine is good, so would you drink it? Yes, of course I would drink it. Then take out a bucket and give him some urine to drink.
A vegan diet, and he's not embarrassed of his behaviour on TV, and he thinks that eating the bodies of animals.
Why are vegans so angry?
Well,
Why do you let yourself get interrupted? You have to have a loud voice and not like tone it down at the end of a sentence.
He made a statement saying the vegans are hangry and angry, but he carried on and banned all vegans from his restaurant because of one simple complaint.
He's allowed to.
Yeah, he's allowed to ban a whole group of people from.
Well, he's a chef who's just sick of tailoring to vegan people who want to have all this stuff and get angry about meat.
Well, listen. Wait a second. He got a 2-star review when he was on Great British Menu, right? He'd ripped off his mic, smashed up the studio, and said that he wanted to kill the guy for giving him a 2-star review of a fish dish that he made. He didn't ban all fish eaters from his restaurant.
Hang on, you were
He didn't ban all fish eaters.
Joey.
So,
Joey,
and
we're going to get personal. You were a gang member, so don't take the high moral ground of smashing something up.
Mate, I'm completely honest about
True?
it. There's been
That's the too quirky argument. What about you? But you did bad stuff too, so I can do bad stuff now.
documentaries made
Right,
about
so don't take the high moral ground about him losing his temper. You were literally in a gang.
I was 10 years ago. 10 years sober now. You're going to use
I'm
that.
just saying, if you're going to get personal with him.
But anyways, I don't walk around.
That's the about you argument. What about you? But you did bad stuff. So now he's allowed to do bad stuff too. That's so dumb. This Piers Morgan guy is absolutely ridiculous.
With dead baby pigs, facing them like that. Like, does that look like someone who really gives a damn about animals?
Picture.
Like, you know, and that's his profile picture. Looking at a dead pig.
Joey,
in Australia, one second, I just want to say
Joey,
this. In Australia, pigs are killed in gas chambers, okay? They cause pigs, they're horrible. Have you seen footage from inside a gas chamber?
Joey, here's the thing.
I recently exposed one in the UK.
Yeah.
They
Carbon
scream to
dioxide.
death and beg for mercy.
Okay.
In Perth, there's a gas chamber called Lindley Valley Pork, right? And this guy serves pork at his restaurants. And why would you be more
Joey?
upset of a little complaint as a chef than pigs being murdered in gas chambers?
Okay, let me ask you the question that I asked a vegan activist the other day, which is that given that 80% or 90% of the world's almonds come from California, where they are made in...
That's it, but what about this? What about that?
involving the demolition of billions of bees.
The question is, can the meat eater defend his position? Yeah, of course, almonds don't cause the killing of animals, of farmed animals. You know, you don't need to feed almonds to cows.
Who get murdered. How do you feel about the little
They don't
guys?
get murdered. That's completely false, and I don't know why.
How many billions?
Excuse
how many
me,
billions
they do
of
not
bees
get
die in the pollination?
I've got the 2022 data right
on,
here.
then.
They die mostly from parasites and pests. 66% die of varroa mites or other pests and parasites.
But
Some
in the
die from
making,
disease.
in the making
Excuse me,
of
no.
almonds and avocados.
They don't.
Oh, they do. They do.
The data is here.
Yeah, but they don't get enslaved and slaughtered by us. It's so disingenuous. he attacking it like this way. It has nothing to do with the farming of the cows.
It's this here.
Do you know where I read
this? Here is data from US Department of Agriculture.
Do you know where I read this?
Wait,
I read it in The Guardian, the vegan Bible. Even The Guardian admitted that you vegans who eat avocados and almonds...
6.7%. This is not...
You don't care about the little guys.
We boycott...
Billions of bees get murdered and you don't care.
Where do those bees come from?
Huh?
Where do those bees come
from? In America, they come from all over the country.
The commercial honey industry.
That's true.
And
a lot of them do.
Boycott? What do vegans boycott?
Go on.
The commercial honey industry.
Why don't you boycott almonds and avocados?
Because I don't see a reason to. Most of the bees are dying from mites.
You don't see...
Do you see pollination?
You don't see a reason to. Okay. All right.
Listen.
So you don't care about the little...
We're not actively killing the bees in producing almonds and avocados.
6% die from pesticides, so it's not really a rights violation. They're not murdering the bees.
Joey, here's my point.
The bees
a big pig makes you cry. A little bee,
killed in gas chambers.
You don't care.
No, listen.
You don't care about it.
There's no reason to be upset about pollination.
Sometimes 50
they die from mites. Why aren't you angry at the mites?
Hang on, Joey.
Barrel of mites.
Let's not shout over each other. Sometimes 50 billion bees die in 6 weeks.
From mites.
To give you vegans.
I've literally just
your
told you they die from mites. Check out the...
That's not...
Yeah, he's not acknowledging the point. They're not dying at our expense. It's not we that are killing them.
True.
These are agricultural stats
that is
from
not
America.
true. Read the Guardian.
I read it in an article, an anecdote, so it must be true. Listen.
Joey, how long have you been a vegan?
10 years.
Right. Do you actually, because you seem quite agitated to me, like you want a bit of...
It's just about nonsense about bees being murdered when they die from mites.
They are murdered. They're murdered.
It's clown behaviour.
But do you think, in a way, you represent what I feel about vegans? That you're all quite hangry.
Are you against animal cruelty, Piers?
Yes.
Then why do you support animal cruelty when you support the meat industry?
I've defended...
Very good. That's where you're pressing him. Finally, I criticize Joey Carbstrong because sometimes he's too lash, but here, let's see how he will do. He's pressing Piers Morgan very good.
The bees for years.
No, well, they're not murdered. They die from mites.
Billions of bees are murdered so that you vegans can eat almonds and avocados.
Do you boycott honey where they're hired from?
John, let me bring in John here. John, look.
Yeah, okay. He didn't want to answer the question, and so Joey Carbstrong just gave up and is not pressing further.
Here's my point about the vegans. There's a lot of hypocrisy, as there is with all these debates, right? Which is that if you want to eat almonds and avocados as a vegan, you feel virtuous, you think you're saving the planet as well. Actually, neither of those things are true. Billions of bees get killed to make almonds and...
You don't need to eat almonds and avocados as a vegan. He's completely missing the point. You can be vegan and not eat almonds and avocados. You don't need to be a meat eater to not eat almonds and avocados. Even meat eaters can eat almonds and avocados. You see how nonsensical that is?
And avocados. People can go read the proper reports about this.
Yeah.
And also, they fly them then around the world, or they truck them around the world, and of course that is terrible for the planet.
They truck animal products around the world.
Do you believe, John, that there's a kind of basic hypocrisy here with the vegans?
Look, I think, Piers, what I've noticed is that there's a strange correlation that they have between eating meat and death and murder, which they like to keep promoting that murderous side. I think if they look at the definition of murder, this is human versus human, and that is it,
No, you're wrong. What about cats? You can also murder a cat, and then you wouldn't say, oh no, but with a cat it's not murder. It's just killing. No, there's cat murder, there's dog murder. And pigs and cows and chicken are persons too, and you can murder them.
Look, I'm 100% against animal cruelty, and for him to...
You are against animal cruelty. Yeah, but it's not cruel to kill them. No, of course not. So is it cruel to kill a human? Yes, it's cruel. Okay, then what's the difference?
Bring up the Great British Menu. Well, it just shows his mentality, good lad, congratulations, well done. It's not what we're about. I think each should be to their own, and you should just enjoy your life.
Oh yeah, but the cow and the pig and the chicken, can they enjoy their life?
If they're going to argue, Piers,
Why are
I
you
feel
killing
that they
animals?
should
Enjoy your life.
But Joey, why
Oh
can't
my
you?
God.
You're killing animals. Look at this.
Joey, it's a
Posing
pig.
with a murdered
It's a
piglet.
pig. It's a pig. Yeah.
Posing with a murdered
That's
piglet.
beautiful,
And it
Joey.
wasn't just, you can't handle a simple complaint from a, and this woman, she's a very nice
But
woman.
Joey-
I spoke to this young woman.
Yeah.
She's very nice, very kind, very polite, and
Yeah.
you can't handle a simple
Joey, let me ask you a
complaint as
question.
Celebrity chef.
Joey.
And it's clear,
Joey.
even meat eaters complain about his
Joey.
restaurant. He doesn't ban all meat
Joey,
eaters.
if you
guy's
want to
an
be,
idiot.
if you want to be a
You're
vegan,
an
I don't
idiot.
care, right? It's
Proper
entirely
idiot.
down to you. If
Lying
you,
about bees being
if you want,
slaughtered. They're not being slaughtered.
billions of bees, everyone go and
Billions of
Google.
bees are getting killed
okay,
by mites.
Here's what I say
Exposed.
to everyone.
Exposed.
To everyone watching this, either on the show tonight or on YouTube later, go and Google bees,
US Department of
bees,
Agriculture stats.
almonds,
Right here.
avocados,
Yeah.
and you'll see the truth. The truth. Even the Guardian, where they all are compelled to eat lentils every day when they wear their sandals to work.
This is a gas chamber, Piers. This is how pigs are killed and
Piers?
slaughtered in the UK. This is my
Piers, do you mind
investigation.
if I
Right.
ask you a question?
Man, this guy is really doing good job on TV, showing, trying to be as vocal as possible, which is I admire that. Yeah, salute.
Why don't you play me the sound of
these
billions
pigs?
of bees
Are you
being
against
murdered?
this?
Well,
Piers,
I know that
would you mind
animals
if
get
I ask
killed
you
so
a
that I can
question?
eat
They're
pigs.
screaming to death.
Right.
Look at them. Face them.
What do you think bees do?
Face them. They're
What
screaming
do you
to
think
death.
bees do when you murder them?
They get killed by mites. This is gas chamber. Look at it.
No.
You don't even want to look at it.
They get
Coward.
slaughtered.
You're a
I'm
coward.
not cowardly.
Look at it.
I know that animals get
They're
slaughtered
murdered. This
so
is
that
the
I can
UK.
eat animal
I've
meat.
stuck this camera in this gas chamber in the UK at Pilgrim's Pride, and they scream for their lives. And every single animal welfare
But here's my
charity are
problem.
against
Here's
it.
Yeah, but press him. Do NTT press him if he would be okay with the killing of a human, and then he says no. And then what's the difference? What's the moral difference? And then you debunk him like that.
my problem.
And you eat bacon and you promote it.
I love bacon.
You promote it.
I
You
love
promote- and
bacon.
You say you're against that.
There's no working further. He's being appealing always to the feeling side of the person. He's been doing that for 10 minutes. It doesn't work. Press him on the morals, on the name the trait. Ask him to name the trait. Why is it okay to kill a cow and why is it not okay to kill a human? And then take the trait away and then ask if it's still okay to kill the if it's then okay to kill the human. If you take away the trait from the human, equalize it with the cow, then ask, is it now okay to kill the human because we've taken away the difference?
I love sausages. I love it all. I love eating meat.
You love animal cruelty.
Yeah, I'm prepared to admit I love eating meat. You're not prepared to denounce avocado and almond
Because you're making up stats.
eaters
They don't get
because
slaughtered.
they actually lead to the
Pollination doesn't
extermination
slaughter-
of
they wanna
millions
keep
of
these
bees.
bees alive.
Final word to John. John, is there anything that will persuade your mind to let vegans in? Because obviously he'd be a fantastic
Piers.
guest in your restaurant.
It's just discrimination, isn't it?
Thank you, Piers. I do
Discriminating
apologise.
against the whole
I
group of
didn't hear you
people.
then.
It's just absolute childish behaviour, discriminating against the whole group of people because of one little silly complaint. Go ahead.
Joey, when
Because
was,
you
Joey,
can't
when was the
stop,
last time
can
you
he?
laughed?
Last time I laughed,
Can you
when I
stop
heard you
1
say
second?
that all bees are slaughtered because of avocados, it's an absolute abject lie.
It's an
a lie.
absolute fact.
And
He has good comebacks, but he should be pressing Piers Morgan.
you can't, facts don't
It's
care
an
about your feelings, Piers.
undeniable.
Can I get a word
Facts
in?
don't care about
Yeah,
your
John,
feelings.
final word to you.
Final word is, how many vegans does it take to change a light bulb?
Go on.
None. They all prefer to stay in the dark.
Well, wait for the punchline. What's the punchline? None what?
Go have a cry, mate,
They
about
all
a complaint.
They have absolutely no argument.
prefer to stay in the dark.
Go have a cry.
Actually,
about
the other one I like is that how do you know when someone's vegan? Don't
I'll show
worry.
you gas chamber footage.
Don't worry.
The UK.
Yes,
They'll soon
told you.
tell you and play pictures and stuff of people
Of
screaming.
pigs being murdered in gas
What they
chambers.
won't play you is bees being
Well done,
murdered.
Joey.
Joey,
You're
great to
brilliant.
see you.
Bless you,
John,
mate.
thank you for
He's
joining me
brilliant.
from Perth. I
Go
appreciate
vegan,
it.
Piers.
Okay, a little bit disappointing from the side of Joey Carbstrong. He could have pressed Piers Morgan a little bit more. I wish to see people applying name the traits on TV more often and more vigorously. And of course, completely disingenuous by Piers Morgan. He's been completely exposed and debunked on his point with the bees. So that was easy, but then Joey Carbstrong could have pressed him a little bit more. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, enjoyed it, and I see you in the next one.